Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm Jane Hogan, the wellness engineer. Welcome to Wellness by Design today. And I want to talk to you about health, and that health and healing is all about taking back your power. This may seem a little odd if you are used to thinking about health as being, about food and about physical and getting sleep and all those things. Well, that's not unimportant, but it's just not the most important part. So, in my own healing journey, I really have come a long way with all this, from thinking in the beginning that it was about food and nutrition and sleep and all these things, to really understanding that our health is actually, our physical health is dependent on our emotional health, and our emotional health is dependent on our how we feel, our power, how we feel about ourselves in this world. So I came to realize this on my own, and I've seen it now in so many other people. I've read a ton of books about it, and I just want to share that with you and help open your eyes a little bit to that as well. So I know with my own, when I got triggered with rheumatoid arthritis, it was like a very stressful year. So I knew that the stress had something to do with it. But as I started working through a little bit more, I realized that it wasn't just the stress of that year. That was like a tipping point, but it was actually a lot. Really, how I'd felt about myself my entire life. Just want to say hi. If you're watching, say hi. You can leave a comment. I'd love to hear you, and just let me know what you think about what I'm saying, or if you got any questions, just post them in the comments. Okay, so I realized that my internal, like how I felt about myself, my come from, like where do you come from when you think about yourself? That is really the critical piece, my friends. It really is. So your power, you can notice how you feel about your power when, like, how easily can someone or a situation throw you a curveball. Okay, so something happens and you you cry, or you get upset, or you get critical or defensive. Those things, when you respond in those ways, and like I know I was like it, those are signs that your power is going somewhere else. And power is just another word for energy. Your energy is going somewhere else. So if you think about, like, if I hold up this pen, do you look at this pen and think, I need that pen? If I don't get that pen, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I really want that pen that Jane has. So obviously, I'm sure you're not thinking of that, because this pen holds no power over you, right? It doesn't make you feel any worse about yourself. It doesn't make you feel any better about yourself. You're not critical of it. You're not jealous of it. None of those feelings, right? So think about how you feel about this pen, and that's how you need to feel about other people or about situations. They have no power over you. No power over you. So, quite interesting about pen. So when you are fully connected to your power, it's like all of you can come through. And I believe that we do have and I think quantum science proves this, and so many things, that we have a bigger part of ourselves, and all of that needs to come through. When some of it gets blocked, then we are losing some of our power or energy. Okay. Now, where does this blocking happen? For the most part, this sounds funny. For the most part, it's down below our waist. Okay. Down below our waist, or in this, maybe below our heart, this bottom part of us. And, you can tell you feel crappy there sometimes, right? And then you get other problems happening in this area, perhaps digestive problems or other issues, problems with, autoimmunity, for example, like I have with rheumatoid arthritis, problems with, all kinds of health issues. So this happens again because we're not fully in our power down here. So there is a word for it. It's like we've got this column of consciousness, column of energy going through us, and this should all be flowing nicely. But when it gets stuck or blocked or weakened, then we lose our power, we lose our energy. So we want to activate all of this area so that energy is flowing through us like it should be, so that all of us can come through and really experience this life here as we are supposed to, and understanding actually that we have this power. We just need to let it fully express through us. So we have, let's just talk about, you may have heard of chakras or energy centers. In the yogic tradition in India, they were called the chakras, but it's really not associated with a religion or anything like that. We have these energy centers, throughout our body here that are actually plexes of nerves. So they're groups of nerves, and they connect with parts of our endocrine system. And then the endocrine system then responds, the things that are going on in our body. So with these centers, this is where our energy is supposed to come through. And when it gets blocked and can't get through these energy centers, we have a loss of power. So these energy centers, we'll talk about the 3 bottom ones today, because really most health issues and illnesses are generally associated with these energy centers. So I'm going to talk about those. So the very first one, the root one, is right at the bottom of our spine, right on the pelvic floor. It's called the root, and you can call it chakra, you could kind of call it energy center. It really doesn't matter. It's more about feeling it as opposed to thinking about it, okay? So this energy center is it's the first one that gets developed. It gets developed even before we can think. When we're little babies, before we can think, before we can speak. It's our security center. It's like our tribal center. It's the things that we learn about life and who we are and our role in it without anyone even telling us anything. It's just what we learn at that early development stage. And that can, depending on our circumstances, which we may not even remember, we may not have all of our energy may not be coming through there like it should, because there's blockages there with different, our own life experiences or how we interpreted life experiences. So that's right in the bottom. The next one up is sort of in this area below the belly button. And that's called the sacrum. And that's our relationship center. That's our emotional center. It's not like rational. It's just like feelings and emotions. Addictions are often associated with that one. Like, you may have all the resolve in the world to, stick with this food plan you want to do, but then, a piece of pie goes in front of you, you can't resist it. It's not rational, right? It's just a feeling. So that's that emotional center. So we can get blockages there. And again, this gets developed when we're a little bit older. I forget the ages now, but as we are younger, we're learning about love and relationships with people. And then next up from that is the solar plexus, which is just above our belly button right here. And that is associated with, it's like our sense of self and our sense of power, it's very much associated with thinking and our mental processes. And so that's an area that's associated with, how we feel about ourselves. Okay, so it's kind of like the root is sort of like tribe, family, like our humanity. Then the second one is about relationships with other people, and then the third one is our relationship to ourselves. So these ones is very common. The root is like security, and all of these really have a sense of security in our place in the world, with other people, and in ourselves. So these are the three key ones. All right, so I promised you, how would you activate these so that you can help to have more energy? So when we connect to these centers, we would notice that we are having a problem if you have like a little drop in energy. So, do you look at social media and think, oh, they've got a good life and I don't? Or does someone say something that triggers you, and then you get these negative emotions, things like jealousy or blame or feeling like you deserve something or sense of entitlement, or that it leads you to judging or judging others or judging yourself. So all of those, really any negative emotion, right? Any negative emotion tells you you're off your energy, because this energy that should be flowing in us is a loving energy. It feels good always. So anything that doesn't feel good is a sign that your energy or your power is not flowing, and you need to activate these centers. So how can you do that? Uh, First of all, I would say, and this would be the one thing you can do today to improve your health. I always give one of these tips, or my guest gives one of these tips on this show. The one thing you could do is start your day off feeling happy. So start your day off intentionally feeling happy. So by design, right? You have to be intentional about this. If the way you usually wake up is, oh, I had a shitty night's sleep last night, or oh, I got so much to do today. These are not ways to start off happy. And it may just be a habit. So create a new habit of waking up happy. So waking up thinking about, what can I be excited about today? What do I feel grateful for? Think about your bed. Um, and then just, how can I connect with my body today? So just breathe. Just breathe into that lower part of you. Breathe into your belly, and you can help activate these energy centers and get that energy and power flowing again, right? Okay, so remind yourself all the time of the things that you already have power over in your life. And it really helps to think about things that you're grateful for as a way, like, I have control over this, right? And then you can also activate these energy centers with conscious breath work. So start by just breathing into the belly. Okay, so many of us are chest breathers. Breathe into your belly instead. So squeeze your belly in to exhale fully, and then inhale and activate that belly. And that will start bringing your energy down and activating the energy in those centers, those lower centers, and actually will start improving your health. And you will know that this is working because you are less reactive. Maybe, and I just heard this today from one of the ladies in my wonderful fine group, that someone said something that would normally have triggered her into kind of an argument, and she just said no, just stated her piece, and that was it, and didn't trigger anymore, and also didn't have any more judgment about it. It's just like, here, there it is. And you will know that you're getting your power back when you are less reactive. You'll notice that, I am not reacting like I used to, or something like this would have made me cry and made me feel like I needed to curl up in a ball. And maybe that doesn't happen as much. This is not an overnight fix. This is something you have to work at, and something very intentional. Now, I came across this work in a lot of different places, but one place that really brought it all together was in this book, The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. And I really loved this work, and it's been endorsed by other people in this field that I really respect and follow, like Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton. Who else wrote some of those? Jack Canfield. He's one of the authors of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and more. So more people. I really love this work. So anyway, I got trained to be a facilitator September 9th. So starting on Thursday, September 9th, I am teaching the Energy Codes course in a 10-week book study program. So it's a class once a week, and you read the book along, and I teach the practices in the class. So, and classes are recorded as well. If you are interested in learning about it, you can go to, hi, Margie. Okay, so you can go to go.janehoganhealth.com/energy codes and find out more about this course. I got one spot left at the 3 payment, really low price, cheap price, the least expensive price, and it's really manageable. And also I've got a money back guarantee. Margie says this works. It absolutely does work, Margie. And you know, the more we practice this, the more we realize how much it does work and how much we can create our own power again. Hi, Rowena. Nice to have you here. We can create our own power. And when we create our own power and activate our power and activate our energy, we are activating healing circuits. We don't even have to think about healing. Healing happens as a byproduct. All we need to think about is concentrating on how we feel and getting that power back. And then, my friends, we can heal. All right. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Wellness by Design. So happy you joined me. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Breathe into your belly and think about all those things you're grateful for. And I hope this works for you. I'd love to hear from you about how you are doing with this, and if it's working for you like it's worked for Margie and worked for me and so many other people. All right, take care, my friends. Have a great day.